Hello, everyone. My name is JD Calderon, and this is Indie Comics Explained. And yet again, I brought another fantastic group of independent comic book creators. So please hit like, hit subscribe, share out the video, let everybody know we're here. Without further ado, I'm bringing on this guy. This guy. What's up, George?
What's going on, JD? Thank you for having me on. George Medina, creator of The Adventures of Wonder Duck and my new book that's live on Kickstarter right now called The Shameless Plug. And thanks for having me, bud.
Hey, listen, bro. Jay's not in. And I need someone who can who's reliable.
I got my questions, JD. I'm ready to rock.
Very nice, very nice. What's up, Randy?
I'm glad George has questions. It's all good. Everybody, Randy Zimmerman, Arrow Comics, writer of The Atlantean, currently on its fourth issue's in production. Third one's about to come out of the printer. Everything's looking great. Can't wait for you to read it.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Kevin, how you doing, man?
Good, JD. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I've timed this just perfectly. Issue 3, last day of the Kickstarter is today. I got 24 hours left to pick this up. Issue 3, you can get all 3. I'm the writer. I'm Kevin Crook, writer, creator of Premonition and the Fates of Destiny from Crooked Comics. So check it out when you can. Thank you.
All right, thank you. How you doing, man?
Hi. I feel like I've been kind of lost in the abyss. We moved 2.5 weeks ago from Los Angeles to Oregon, which is why I've got boxes behind me. And then I launched a Kickstarter this week. So yeah, it's we.
All right, cool. Well, but please introduce yourself real quick.
I'm Madeleine Holly-Rosing. I'm the writer-creator of the steampunk supernatural series, Boston Metaphysical Society, which is currently on Kickstarter, and my new series, Dragon.
All right, cool. All right. Aaron, can you hear us now?
I can hear you. Sorry, headphones weren't connected.
Aaron, please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Aaron Wroblewski. I'm a writer-creator of Enenra, Amor Patris, and my current Kickstarter is Ice and Bone, if you like samurai action horror.
All right, cool. Last but certainly not least, Kenny, how you been?
I'm Kenny Aitken, Moonfire Lab. I'm creator of Apex, Cybernetic Samurai Owl, and Blue Heart Emoji, my current book, and that's on Kickstarter right now.
All right, cool. What is it? I just wanted to address something real quick, and I'm blanking on the creator's name, of course. Because,
notes, you need to keep notes. It's really important that you name names.
What? Well, no, it's nothing bad though. It's nothing
okay.
bad. There's another podcast, and he had mentioned how I tend to launch campaigns every 2 weeks. I'm like, no, that's not true. It's about every 6 weeks. So let's get it straight. It's really cool, dude. Really good podcast. I just blanking on it. I think his last name is Campbell. Really nice guy. Really cool dude. Really great show. So
even every 6 weeks is insane.
I think Pat Shan does.
You're not doing yourself any favors.
I know. Well, I never said I was saying.
Sure.
You can make your own assumptions, but
You work in comics. We automatically assume.
Exactly. I've been doing this in '92, so I've been
especially
doing it a long
indie
time.
comics. Yep.
Exactly. So, all right. So the show question. Again, I borrowed this topic from another creator. So, how do you prove your worth, right? And that's an individual thing for each and every one of us, right? How do we prove our worth, right? And please take the question however you feel about it at that moment. I don't need you to view it through my lens, right? How do you view it through your lens? And Kenny, last man in, first man in the pool. So you're up.
All right. How do you prove your worth? That's kind of a pretty broad question, I guess. Really just making sure you're doing your best work and doing what you like to do and staying true to what you want to do, not compromising, I guess.
All right, that's fair. Kevin, what are your thoughts?
There's a number of ways you can prove your worth, especially by the quality of your book. You know what I mean? You want to get the best artist you can get, the best, colorist, and I work with a number of colorists, and it just takes experience to get the right guys and then lead that team. So it's about leadership, really. Like, who's leading the team? I don't know how it is with other people's teams, but I'm the writer, I'm the creator of the story, and I'm the producer. So sometimes maybe that might be the artist that's managing the team. But that's very, that's a huge challenge, is to make this a reality. You know what I mean? Not only make it a quality piece, but to make it a reality. But what I'm proud about my book is I put out 3 of these this year. And this is the first time I've done this kind of work over the past 3 years. And so I'm a newcomer to a lot of this stuff. But either way, I've been putting a lot of time, quality, and money into this in an effort to get published. And so far, so good. So I had 3 out this year. You said you're putting out 6 books. I mean, that's a testament to how many you can produce per year, I would say.
All right, cool. Madeleine, what are your thoughts?
Well, my first thought was when you said that is like, how do you define worth?
Right.
And
I chucked it on your lap.
Yes. Proving your worth to whom, to what, and why do you even need to do that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel the need to prove myself to anybody, but I will do my damnedest to do the best quality work. If we're just talking about comics,
right.
Being a good creator in the sense that I am reliable, my backers can depend on me, what I say is what happens, and for me, it's not necessarily quantity, but quality.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Aaron, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of going with the Madeleine in this. Quality over quantity. I mean, I don't know how you do every 6 weeks. My God. I mean, it's bad enough doing like 4 a year, because I have now launching another series next year. So I'm doing 4. I'm trying to do 4 a year. So one each, one of each series. But it's getting what the backers deserve. I never take them for granted. Kickstarter is a figgity beach. So I've had some Kickstarters that failed, but I've always come back. So yeah, as long as people do come back, so I know what I'm doing is good. I think giving them the quality product is for me.
All right, Randy, what are you thinking?
I echo Aaron 100% and Madeleine. I agree. Quality makes it. I've been fortunate to get teamed up with Russ Leach on the Atlantean, and he's been kicking the out like you wouldn't believe, just doing some great jobs. And I've been trying to prove my worth and matching the writing, making the writing as good as his art, and that's been a big challenge for me this last year. But other than that, like I said, I agree with Madeleine and Aaron 100%.
But yeah, isn't it great, Randy, when you meet up with an artist who ups your game?
Oh, absolutely.
That's great. It's great.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm thankful for my artists who actually make my little paragraph into works of art. It's like,
there we go.
It makes my life a lot easier.
Yep.
George, what are you thinking?
I mean, I think similar to like Madeleine, when I first read the question, I immediately asked myself, to who? Like, how do you prove your worth to who? Like, to whom? Who, what, why? But I guess for the sake of the discussion, right? I think that to everybody's point, I think worth is about quality, right? So, and we're talking about our books, and I think that is the most, and not just the writing and the art, which goes without saying, right? That stuff should be top notch, especially when we are in an environment today where like indie comics isn't what it used to be back in the days. And when I say that, JD, you've been doing this for a while, Randy, you know what I'm talking about. Comics today, indie comics today, look incredibly just, I'm going to use the word professional, but it just looks polished. Like these pages look like Marvel and DC should be publishing them, and they're not, which is fine. It's cool. We can do that ourselves now, and that's perfect. But I think that worth also goes to the printing and how these books look when you open them up from that box that you get from us after the Kickstarter is over. You know what I mean? Like, that's the worth. You want to make sure that the quality of the books, including the printing, the paper you're using, all that stuff, the letterer, you know what I mean? Like, at all those things, that they look top notch, that the $20, whatever they paid to get this book was worth what they paid. Otherwise, they may not come back, right? And why should they? You know, if you're mailing, and how you mail them out. If you mail them out are you mailing them out in a manila folder, or are you mailing them out, in a nice, protective way where they're not going to get damaged? So I think that's how we prove our worth, is just by how we deliver this product to the customer, and that it is, top notch.
Fair enough. For myself, proving my worth is usually proving it to myself. I don't worry about anyone else. It's always about maintaining quality levels and producing the work in a very timely fashion. I don't launch a campaign unless the book is already done, right? So whenever I launch the book's already ready to go to the printers. And what I do is, once the campaign is done, I send it off to the printers. By the time the 2 weeks rolls around, I get it from the printers. I get the payment from PayPal, and I start packing and shipping. And then I start with the next one. The only difference between myself and I guess a lot of other creators is that since I have been doing this long, I have a huge backlog of material that was already created before Kickstarter. So I'm just catching up to my own backlog. And my artists are consistently producing more work. So I'm getting pages every week from at least 2 artists, sometimes 3. So I'm constantly getting pages in. And as I get them in, I'm lettering, I'm tweaking, I'm editing, I'm just driving myself nuts doing that stuff. But that's the stuff I enjoy. That's why I call it my very expensive hobby. It's a business. I treat it like one. I certainly file my taxes like it's one, but to me, if I'm not running a campaign, I feel like I'm standing still. It's gotten to that point for me. If I'm not running a campaign, it feels like I'm standing still. And a big reason for that is because I don't go to shows anymore. I haven't been to a convention as a vendor probably in like 2 or 3 years, maybe more. So
why is that?
I live in New York City and we don't have a car. So, getting around the city is easy. If I'm going on vacation, I go on vacation. But, when I would go out to San Diego, it was a big deal. Like, I was shipping out cases and cases and cases of stuff, spending $300 or $400 just on shipping, right? And then just the prep time and all that stuff. New York Comic-Con, I don't think Daphne and I have returned to that since like 2012, maybe 2014. I don't even remember. And we did okay, but just the cost of the tables are ridiculous. And we're just like,
Isn't there like smaller ones in the area?
There are, but again, it's like, I have to weigh like I could go to a small show and make $300, or I can run a campaign.
But also, like, I think I'm in New York as well, JD. Right. And when you talk about local ones, they're in Jersey over the bridge. So you would have to drive there anyway.
Yeah, I have to drive there.
You need a car. You need a car.
You need a car to pack it up, bring your stuff to wherever you got to go. You need a car. You can't just, get on a train with your big, it just doesn't work.
Oh, and the thing is, we've done it. When I was younger, we would jump on buses, go down to Baltimore, go to Chicago, and we were insane. Wow. So it's like, we did this stuff, but I'm like, man, I don't want to care. I don't want to be running up and down steps or cases and I'm good. I can just do a campaign and ship it from my house. So I'd rather do that.
It's not worth it, right, JD?
What?
It's not worth it at this point.
Well, see, the thing is like, I can run a campaign where I can make $30,000, right? And I can set up that campaign in one day.
That's what I mean.
or I can go to this show for one day and make $300.
Right.
Right. So, or 400, but if it's a smaller show, because you go to, I mean, it usually doesn't cost anything to go. Like the library shows, we have some library shows that are local to us. You know, it's either $50 or nothing. You know, it costs me more to get there than it does. And, you know, you might make a few $100, and that's nice. And I get to meet some fans, get to see some faces I haven't seen in a while. But, you know, choices.
Well, yeah, no, you're right. And also cons aren't what they used to be. They have really changed. I mean, when I first started, I did maybe 20 cons a year. And then I scaled back to just hitting a couple local and then large ones to about 8 or 9 a year. Then COVID. And then right after COVID, the cons did very well for about 6 months. And then it's not the same at all.
Although, unfortunately, Jay couldn't make it this week, but he told me he did great at New York Comic Con. And a lot of people are saying, yeah.
Well, New York, when I went to New York Comic Con, I sold out. I mean, I did very well. Yeah, there's certain avenues that I will do well, but it's not the profit margin I'm used to seeing.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. And that's what it's about. Unfortunately, the artists need to be fed.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. George, you're up, sir.
Okay. And so I think most of us here, if not all of us, have at some point ran a crowdfunding campaign, whether it's on Indiegogo, Kickstarter, you know, Fund My Comic or whatever it is. But this question, I guess, is specifically to Kickstarter. What have been your best practices for converting pre-launch followers to actual pledges?
Interesting. Kevin, you're up.
What are some tactics? Unfortunately, I'm really weak on that. I'm a really small time indie comic guy just getting in. And so unfortunately, my following is very low. So even I have a hard time even getting family and friends to really get on board with this. And so I think what it comes down to, I sell this really well in person. And I visit the local Comic Cons in the area. I live in Ohio. So I go out to different cities in Ohio, Dayton. I live in Columbus. And so I've been working on getting into these networks, and just to get into some of these networks and then tour around. I'm also in Dayton and a few other places. And so I always find that I could sell these in person rather than online. And so just getting that information from at the table when you're there, because when I, show the art in person, everybody, a lot of people get excited, and I have to sell it right on the spot as they're walking by. So it's very challenging to get customers for something they've never heard of. You know what I mean? And so it's really just getting out there in the grassroots effort and talking to people, getting their information, and putting that out there and maybe help getting that funding that way. Other than that, I haven't really been too good at doing that. And so a lot of you other guys, you'll have to speak to it. You have a lot bigger, things going on and followers and everything. So I'd really like to hear from you how to do that, because that's actually one of my sore spots.
All right, cool. Madeleine, what are your thoughts?
It would be special.
Oh, I was going to ask you guys if you're hearing her.
No.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
She's going Mr. Roboto on us. Yeah. She had told me earlier that she was having internet issues.
There she is. She's coming back. I feel like she was about to give us like some really good stuff.
I know. She probably was.
She was about to give us the answers, and then
she's probably the one person on the panel has like the most followers and the most experience. She's the one that we need to listen to. But she did tell me earlier that she was having internet issues. So, well, Well, while we're waiting for Madeleine, Aaron, why don't you? Maybe we can learn something from Mr. Wroblewski. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Ish. I mean, ish.
Ish.
Ish. I mean, Americans think I'm Australian, so it's like whatever.
Well, I was like, you're British, right?
I mean, it's kind of British. You know, it's kind of like the criminals in the olden days.
Oh, I'm back.
You're
Yay.
back. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we haven't. I had to call internet, and anyway, I thought it was resolved, but I'm not sure where it cut me off at. I know I was talking about early bird specials.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't hear anything.
Didn't hear any of that.
Oh, you didn't hear anything? Okay.
No.
Yeah, what I do is I've become a big fan of early bird specials, and like my top three most popular tiers. I will give people a discount, and I usually run it for about 72 hours. And I know other people do 24, but the reason I do 72 is because statistically, it takes about 3 days for newsletters and emails like that to mature, for it to reach everyone that you want it to reach. And I found that to be very effective to kind of generate enough excitement to get the ball rolling. So when you start moving in past that initial excitement, it kind of helps you maintain that flow. It didn't it didn't yesterday because of the No Kings protest everywhere. I mean, if you didn't notice, pledges like dropped off a cliff yesterday. Usually they do decrease after I close out the early birds, but not like that. It's just like nobody was home. And that's fair. I knew that was going to happen. Intellectually, I knew it, but emotionally, it's like, it's painful. Today was a lot better. And so now it'll kind of even out after a special event like that. But yeah, I would say the early bird specials have been a big help.
Interesting.
Cool.
Weekends are quiet normally. I always found weekends are like almost dead zones in themselves. Broad, like out of question for everybody.
No, I've found that weekends tend to pick up for me.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, usually after pay periods from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then from Monday on, it tends to like slow down.
Yeah, particularly Sunday afternoon, evening, because people are starting to come home, get ready for the week, check their email after the weekend, and go like, oh yeah, I need to go do this, and they go do that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, Aaron, what are your thoughts on the?
I pretty much do every campaign now is a physical backer kind of freebie reward. So I tend to do like 8.5 by 11 prints. So I kind of offer a kind of a variant cover or some kind of print, like maybe a page I like the look of. I'll throw that in there as a freebie for mainly in the first 48 hours. So it seems to get a lot of traction. People seem to really like it. Those little extra freebies.
Gotcha.
Okay, cool. Kenny, what are you thinking?
So for me, I usually like to follow up with people. I see it like a lot of times with my campaigns. I see a lot of the same people come early. So I know that they're in the system, because there's no way to actually tell who's there, right? Like they're anonymous on the list. So you might have like 100 or 200 or whatever. So I like to follow up with people, especially people that I know that usually back, especially now, because like I miss a lot of campaigns now. I'm not really on Facebook too much anymore. I'm not really looking at it. I took it off my phone, so like I miss a lot of those. And then my email's just packed full of stuff. So like I'm always like looking, to see if I missed something from somebody. So I just like to follow up with people because I appreciate it when people talk to me. and say, hey, there's a way to do it, right? Like, once your buddy or your friend or whatever, and he's like, hey man, I'm doing my thing, and they know I want to support it. So I appreciate that. And I kind of treat it the same way on the other end. So.
All right. Cool. Randy?
JD, these podcasts are also another great tool, to advertise. So
yeah. We don't run Kickstarters. I've never run a Kickstarter. I do all of my campaigning through fundmycomic.com. We have an email list that Russ stays on top of. They keep everybody informed as to our progress and lets everybody know when to come in. And the idea of doing a time discount is really intriguing to me. I think we'll have to see about trying something like that next time. Thanks, Madeleine.
Yeah, I'm actually.
I didn't invent it.
I know, but it's a great suggestion. I love it.
Yeah, I'm hoping to use the secret rewards you can do now with Kickstarter.
You can. I haven't done it.
Yeah, I've done it once. So I'm hoping to use that for my email list. Give them the discount we're talking about, and do it that way.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, JD, real quick, that I found a lot of success just selling original art.
Oh, okay.
Campaign.
Yeah.
Which helped make those extra dollars because it's a higher priced item.
Mm-hmm.
So I specifically have one backer that's really, real big fan. So without him, I don't think I'd have a successful campaign. So it's really hitting it home. So if you're not doing that, I'd definitely suggest trying that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
For myself, I found my Substack. When I actually bother to write it, does work quite well. Because the thing with me in Substack is I only like writing it if I really have something to say. You know what I mean? I don't want to just go up there. I just saw some random movie, or I was just, it's that sort of thing. And I mean, I don't know. I just don't like fluff. Right? Is if I have something with some substance to say, then I'll send out a Substack, or at least funny. I don't know, some anecdote. But yeah. So yeah, but I have found that Substack has actually worked very well for me, and I think that's perhaps the best tool that I've been using. What happened?
What is that? I've never heard of it.
Substack. It's okay. So think of having your mailing list. Okay. Except, you go in there, and what you do is they want you to write, a post, an article, something about, it could be either what you're doing or something you're interested in. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about comics, but you can always, what I try to do is I try to write something that may have something to do with comics. Maybe it doesn't have something to do with comics, but I always try to tie it into my comic at the end. Right. So then that way, when they get in, they're like, okay, boom, boom. And then you sneak in that thing where it's okay, here's my link, go check it out.
Yeah. Right. Blog.
Yeah, pretty much that's what it is, but it's attached to a mailing list.
Okay, right? Cool.
And the thing is if you become really popular, people have the option to opt in to pay. To pay you for the I guess the service, or
Okay.
Yeah, Russell Nolte does a really good job with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kind of like Patreon with a blog kind of thing. Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. All right, George. What do you do?
So it's it's when I launched this campaign. Right before I launched it, I was doing. I still do conventions. I still go to a lot of conventions, and I was actually talking to people about the fact that this thing was coming out, and I gathered a lot of their emails specifically for this. I promised them I wouldn't contact them for anything else other than this right now unless they wanted me to. And so I was able to send a lot of emails to the people who signed up specifically for this campaign. So once they signed up for the pre-launch page, I kind of had an idea about who was signed up for it. And so the conversion, their conversions kind of came through because I promised them an email a month or an email a week or something like that about what was going on with the campaign. I sent a preview page of the comic before it came out. They were going to get a preview, an 8-page preview of the comic before it came out. And the final email would be sent to them the night before I launched. to remind them that it was about to launch. And so when the next day came, a lot of those people found their way back, and a lot of them did convert and pledge. So I kind of knew who was coming in, similar to what Kenny was saying. Like I kind of knew who it was, but there are still other people there that haven't converted, and those non-conversions kind of drive you nuts sometimes because you just see them there. They're there. You know they're there, but they're not converting. You're like, why are they? Who are they? Why are they not converting? So I was wondering if you guys had any other, tactics or thoughts about how to do it. But I appreciate a lot of the information you guys just gave because that's pretty good stuff, especially like having that 72-hour, perk versus.
Well, are you all using BackerKit Launch?
I'm not. No, I've never used it.
That is amazing. For those of you who don't know me, I've run 14 campaigns, and what BackerKit does is take all the emails from those campaigns and aggregates the email for you, and so you can send out emails through BackerKit very timed. You can do the pre-launch. You can do we just launched. I did one 2 days ago of like only 24 hours left in our early bird. I'll do another one when I do my mid-campaign new add-on. And then, you got a week left, you got 3 days left, and that hits, like close to 4,000 people.
Wow.
So it's an incredibly useful tool.
Yeah. And one of the things that's where I get my list for Substack is you can export out that file and import it into your Substack. So you're talking to the same people.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
It's part of BackerKit, the pledge management tool, and it's called Launch.
Oh, okay.
All right, cool.
Yeah, don't get mixed up and actually launch the campaign on.
Yeah. I mean, I like BackerKit as a pledge management tool, but most of my backers, the community resides on Kickstarter, so it just doesn't make sense to move.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
I'm hoping Kickstarter's going to get it together and do their own version.
I'm sure they're not trying to give anything away anymore. So, and what I mean by that is, I don't think they want to give away any more business to BackerKit or to like Zoop or any of those other companies. They're trying to like really, I think, pull it in. Randy, you got a question?
Only softball ones.
That's fine.
All right.
Sometimes we need those.
Talking about worth. What was the last thing that you saw in comics you thought was worth it?
Cool. Madeline.
Indie or mainstream, doesn't matter. Comics in general.
All right. Madeleine, you're up.
In fairness, it's been a while because I've been so deep. We spent the last 3 months moving gradually, so I haven't read a whole lot. I do a lot of audiobooks. But I will say I did really enjoy G. Willow Wilson's graphic novel, The Stonebridge Register. And it was really interesting in that it had a supernatural aspect to it, but it was very subtle. And it was just kind of burbling underneath everything. But the whole comic itself was essentially about community. And it was in black and white too. And I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the artist. My fault. It was spectacular. I'm generally not a fan of black and white comics, but this worked beautifully.
All right, cool. Kenny, what are your thoughts? I mean, not Kenny. I'm sorry, Aaron. Going on.
I kind of suppose the thing that's coming up I'm most excited about is all my collection is Kickstarter, so I don't really have any mainstream stuff. So there's a few series I'm following religiously, and the name escapes me, even though I can see the title of it. Ronin of Arcane. it's just launched, and I'm excited about that. The last issues, the volumes have been amazing, so that one I'm looking forward to getting the next issue. Like I said, all my comic collections are just Kickstarters.
All right, that's fair. Kenny, what are your thoughts?
I don't really do anything with the mainstream comic stuff anymore because I don't even have any shops here anymore. They all closed.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
So yeah, mostly I just do indie stuff. I think a lot of the really cool things happening with indie comics is there's a lot more platforms that you can reach people with that are coming out over the last couple years. Backer Kit's doing their own. There's a few smaller ones than that. Indiegogo's still there. Kickstarter. I think it's always good when you can have more platforms. That one thing I do think that kind of sucks about that though is everybody's kind of tribal with where they go. So like if you have a Kickstarter and you're in that ecosystem, sometimes people don't want to make the jump over to the other one, which I guess is fine because you can go to the other one and reach those people there. So I haven't tried any of that yet, but that's what I'm going to plan on doing next year. I'm going to try and get in, maybe do some Indiegogos and some stuff on Backer Kit and see how it goes.
All right. Kevin, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm a fan of older comics mostly. I'm not really into too much new stuff. I don't do a lot of reading, and over the years, haven't done a lot of reading. I'm just interested in being a creator, so it helps me stay original. Let me just say that. But I do. I kind of came back into it on the back end, started creating it, and then I started getting back into comics, owning comics, and things like that. But any show that I'm always looking for the older ones. Any like obscure original stuff, or it's hard to find. Older pieces, sometimes magazines. I was real excited to find a Moon Knight piece in an old Hulk magazine recently. So it's fun just, picking up just different pieces like that at some of the shows. But I want to say more than anything is just networking, getting to know the people out there, the vendors, the fellow vendors and everything, putting it all together, making it happen, getting to know them, getting to know the fans, you know what I mean? Especially fans that buy your book. So it's all just a great process.
All right, cool. All right, George, you're up.
So last week, or Wednesday, actually, I was at a comic book shop, and I was there all day because we were doing a book signing for a book that we had. And man, it's interesting because I know as indie creators, we're very I guess guarded about our stuff, right? It's got to be indie. It's got to be indie. Not all of us, but I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
For me though, I still love I love comics, whether it's Marvel, DC, I don't care. I just love comics. And the one thing that I found when people walked into that shop, you guys have heard of these blind bags that they have now, where like comics are just put in these blind bags and you don't know what cover you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a blind bag. A company had put some blind bags, and I think it started with I think it was Image that did it first with some books that they had anyway. But people were going crazy for these blind bags. Like I'm talking about the people walking into the comic shop, and they would buy 4 or 5 just to see what was inside of those bags.
Okay.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, how do we incorporate some of that stuff into what we're doing, right? Because automatically I started thinking, how do we do that for ourselves? Unfortunately, I don't know that we have. Well, at least I know I don't have the following to entice people to buy 4 or 5 blind bags just to see which cover they're going to get. Plus, I can't afford to pay 4 or 5 different artists for a cover for these blind bags. But I just thought that to answer your question, Randy, was so, in a sense, was worth it because I think what comic fans want is to have fun reading comics, and trying to find out what's inside these bags for them was fun. For me, it was fun just to see what were you going to get. Is that the glow in the dark cover that you're about to get, or is that the hollow foil cover you're going to get? Like, what is it? And you would see like how they would light up when something cool came out and they want to pose with their comic. It was just so cool to see. Even at conventions, I do this thing where like I spin the wheel, and I have this little spinner wheel, and the clack, 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 that drives people nuts. They want to come to my table just to spin this wheel. And I think that that's part of what it's what I love about what we do is seeing the joy that these like people have for, when they look at our books, open our books, something new. It's like something cool that they've never seen before. So I think that that's worth it. I think having something different for the customers to enjoy I think makes all of this worth what we're doing. And I think that we should try to do some of that stuff. And I think we do it with these Kickstarters, right? With the secret rewards or with the early bird specials and things like that. That's bringing the joy into, into comics. And I think that we need to keep doing it. And I think that was one of those things that I found.
Sorry. It's also a form of gambling. Not that this is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
Madam, you know how many times people came to the table like, I like to gamble. Let me spend this thing. And they were like,
and even the blank bags, it's a form of gambling. It's like, what am I going to get? What am I going to get? It's like winning the lottery. And so, it is fun and it's very low stakes. So people aren't,
are opening that pack of sports cards and seeing which ones are inside.
I mean, no, it's like I said, it's not a bad thing.
Right.
And these blind bags. Go ahead. Sorry, Aaron. Go ahead.
Well, I was thinking you could do, instead of doing different covers like different artists, you could do different versions of it. The foil, not a glow in the dark, black and white instead of a color, and like having reversed color or reverse black and white, so you get the same artist but different versions of that color.
That's true.
And you can always drop in sketch signatures, what is that, remarks, right? Stuff that's relatively inexpensive to do, and you can drop in there. Cool. All right, to answer your question, I'll go back. I read a lot. Okay. So for me, it's Jeff Johns' Redcoat from Ghost Machine. It's funny. Like for a good portion of time that Jeff Johns has been out, I only started, like he's been writing for the last 20, 25 years. And I only just started reading his stuff like 2 years ago. Right. And Jeff Johns is the man. That dude can bang it out. The book, The Redcoat, is about a guy. He finds Ben Franklin and this cabal casting some crazy, insane spell that would have made Ben Franklin immortal. And he ends up pushing him off like the pedestal, and he ends up getting zapped by the spell. And it's just him going through time and going through all of these insane adventures with all of these historical figures. Right. And it's just the way he weaves the narrative of the story with these historical, things that occurred throughout American history. And he was originally a redcoat, and he wears his redcoat. He's this big guy, and he can't die, and he's basically immortal. But he goes through all these insane adventures, all these insane historical figures. So it's fun. It's just a lot of fun. I really, really, really enjoyed it, and I especially enjoyed it because it's something I never even considered as a writer to do. So on that level, I really, really enjoyed it. So for me, I think Redcoat is a lot of fun. Go check that one out.
I understand all the Ghost Planet stuff is pretty good.
Yeah. That's the one that stood out for me though, because I read the Geiger and there's the other one, the one with the masks. I read both of those. Those are really good, but this one I think was the standout for me.
Cool.
So Randy, answer your own question. What do you got?
Snub the same books if you give them a choice. I like the idea of the blind bags. I really need to look into that. Absolutely. Something that's worth it mainstream wise. I'm kind of surprised at DC trying to get their act together. That's kind of fun. The announcements they made at New York. I'm sitting there looking at the list of new books that they're talking about bringing out, and I'm like going, well, about half a dozen or so of those all needed to come out a long time ago. Why did you ever stop doing a Zatanna series? Come on. I can't help but see it opening up the market. But a lot of the stuff that they're doing reprint wise is also really surprising to me. And like Kevin, I love the old stuff. The old stuff is it for me. But the DC Finest reprint line that they're doing, it's kind of like thick books. I don't think I have any handy right here. They look like the old Showcase Presents or the Essentials or the Epic collections that Marvel does. And they're collecting some really interesting stuff, like the entire Ramona Fradon, Aquaman, some Metamorphos. There's one book that's all Cockrum, all the Cockrum Legion stories are in it. Just great stuff that I would never have thought would be collected. Jack Cole, all the Jack Cole Plastic Mans that he did back in the 40s, all in one volume. That's amazing stuff. Just incredible work. And for me, every book on that reprint list is worth it. They've got war and Western and science fiction collections coming out that look really top notch. I'm really happy to see that kind of stuff getting reprinted.
All right, cool. Well, listen, I mean, now it's time for us to have a premonition, right?
Premonition.
So, the premonition.
24 hours to go, JD.
Oh, yeah, 24 hours, exactly 24 hours. Very nice, very nice. Do you want me to play this video, Kevin?
Sure, why not?
Short and sweet. I like it.
So that's
All
an alt cover from my first attempt at production of the story Premonition with Todd Beats. I found him on Whatnot as an artist. He's still on there. He's a great guy. He's done some work for me, and I commissioned this cover with him.
All right, cool.
But there's some of the recent art from my most recent artist and main artist, Marcelo Sanchez of Chile. So he does a fantastic job. I'm also working with Vittorio Astone out of Italy to do some of the coloring here. So I put in a little bonus art, because it's coming down to the wire and just trying to promote my campaign a little bit. So those are covers 4 and 5 coming out. There's the first 3 books in the series. So working on 5 books, and also put those together as a graphic novel in about a 130-page book. So they're coming out individually as well as into the one graphic novel next year. So like I said, I've been very successful and working very hard to get 3 of these out this year alone, and the next 2 will be ready next year.
Very nice. And so you said it's a 5-issue limited series?
That's right. Until I can find a publisher. So I'm trying to work on getting a publisher to help promote and distribute this, help market it, and get it out there. Because this is all self-funded, so it's a huge gamble. Speaking about gambling, it's huge gambling on my part. So just put this production, this team together to make my story happen, and it's coming together quite beautifully. So.
No, it looks really good. So what got you involved with, the mythological aspect of the story?
It was just a process of trying to come up with an original idea, original character and ideas. So my first idea was about a character called Premonition. Mm-hmm. And so it just fleshed itself out together as I started doing some research. Originally, I wanted to create a series of the past, present, and future to bestow their combined powers on the hero Premonition. And so I just worked backward, you know what I mean? And so I created the first piece of art that I put together as a collage, and then hired artists to work with and make that first piece of art. And then I started just on the backstory and just try to flesh out some of the ideas, and had to do a little bit of research. So what I did was kind of borrow from different pieces of mythologies to help set up my original characters. So there's some mythological characters in that universe in this. And what I specialize and want to capitalize on is introducing lesser known mythological characters, as well as my own original characters and ideas.
All right, cool. Now, how long have you been working on the project? Like in developing it?
Going on 3 years in March next year.
All right, cool.
But I'm extremely, excited about this project. Happy with my artist. He's doing a phenomenal job. He referred me to Vittorio out of Italy. He's got experience with Vault Comics and IDW and some other projects, Cato and stuff like that, for some professional publishers and things like that. So that's where I'm looking to get this.
get this eventually printed. Now, beyond the 5 issues, are you looking to a larger story?
Oh yeah, I built this up to where I can continue to keep writing on it, and I already have the story fleshed out beyond that as well. It just comes down to funding. So I'm envisioning like a 10 to 12 limited series that a publisher will help me push it out to. Also several volumes of graphic novels, and I can indefinitely continue the story. It's because I have it going in so many different ways and characters. And so one thing that's also unique about my book is I incorporate the Ruin alphabet and some Viking themes into the stories as well. And so you can see the cover, I provide a translator, a Ruin translator to English in the book, so you can kind of decipher some of the language, like the title that's on the back and things of that nature. So
That's fun.
Yeah, that's nice. No, that's really awesome.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. So you're saying that, I guess, bulk of your sales, you're primarily seeing success at conventions?
That's right. And tell you the truth, I don't put a lot of work into the Kickstarter because I really don't have time. I have a full-time job and a full-time toddler. So I do all this in my part-time. I'm the only one. This is a self-run thing. You know what I mean? It's just me. I'm running this company. I'm running this project. I'm paying for it. You know what I mean? So I find it's very hard, time-consuming to kind of do everything that I need to do to, you know what I mean, to promote. And I make reels and I do this and that on Instagram. I have a website, crookedcomics.com, Crooked Comics on Instagram and so forth. But to try to, you know what I mean? That's why I need a publisher's help for funding, help marketing, sales, distribution. Because as you know, I mean, how else can you do this? Like,
oh yeah, it's a tough business. It's a tough business. All right, so I mean, you're already funded. I mean, but you can always get a few more shekels in there, which I know always helps. So I mean, everybody, it looks great. It's a gorgeous looking book. I really like the artwork. So
the only thing I would do with the Kickstarter is use the headers, the highlight. You can have, so it's easier to navigate on the left side. All you have is lists, where if you have like covers, pages, so people can just like click on something and go straight down to what they want to look at.
Okay, yeah. Even on Kickstarter, I'm a novice. I have small goals. I have small, you know what I mean, support. So I'm really just trying to grow everything, network, and unfortunately, even my campaigns, I kind of cold start. I don't even do a lot of pre-campaigning because of time and everything of that nature. So just to be able to get it out there is one of my goals, you know what I mean? And so I can always put out links and because either way, I'm going to make this happen. Either way, I'm funding it. So I'm not depending on that funding to really do this. But to keep it going, that funding is going to be crucial in the future. And I don't think I could do it any other way outside of a publisher. Are any of you guys working with publishers?
No.
I have, yeah.
I mean, I have to, but yeah.
But still, the marketing is going to end up on you.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's
yeah.
true.
The publisher's not going to. They're going to, depending on the publisher, it's going to be minimal to none. It's all going to be on you.
Yeah.
Just expect that.
And that's okay as long as I can get it out and distribute it. You know what I mean? That's a big thing. You get it across the country, get the word out. You know what I mean? Because it's all local and small time right now.
Though.
I used to have a distribution agreement with SourcePoint Press, which at the time it worked out very well. We have since parted ways, very amicably, but still they wanted to break up the original 6-issue miniseries into individual and redistribute. And I got on the phone. I put together a list of comic book stores around the country and cold called.
Okay.
And pitched, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Most of the time it didn't, but yeah, it's really on you.
Yeah, over the last couple of years, I have gone out personally to different area comic stores, and in a couple different cities. And so my experience is a lot of them won't promote it and sell it in the stores, but I have found a couple that will. But when they do, they're only buying about 6 books at a time.
Right.
And so I come back every couple months and things of that nature. So that's still a good thing to try to get it out there and get start the network and everything. So,
well, sorry to interrupt, but the other thing you can do is, as part of your reward tiers, is have a retailer tier.
Mhm.
That includes a discount for what you're up to 3 issues now. So you have a retailer reward for issues 1, 2, and 3, 5 copies each, at a discount, and see if anybody bites.
Retailer tier. That's interesting.
Yes, a retailer tier.
Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, my Morgana, which is what I would say a broader demographic than Boston Metaphysical, brought in a number of retailers, which was really nice.
So that might be my focus after the book is finished, to spend more time with the marketing and things that nature. So I probably my transition after production. So I'm still working on production, but it's kind of wrapping up here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, man. I mean, I don't know who you spoke to before you got in, but yeah, I hope they told you that it's going to be a rough ride. It always is. It doesn't matter what your level you're on. Yeah.
I noticed. Yeah. So I'm doing it for the love of it anyway. So either way,
Yep.
it's all good.
Yep. All right. Now we're on to Boston. Madeleine, do you want me to play the video?
Sure. You get to see me with hair and makeup
My name is
done.
Madeleine Holly-Rosing, and I'm the writer, creator of the steampunk supernatural series, Boston Metaphysical Society. Welcome to our Kickstarter to print issues 3 and 4 of our 4-issue miniseries, Mystery at Pikes Peak. If you're not familiar with the series, it's about an ex-Pinkerton detective, a spirit photographer, and a genius scientist who battles supernatural forces in late 1800s Boston. Our news story begins as our team flees the law in Boston and arrives at the only safe haven they can find, Tesla's experimental station in Colorado Springs. There, they meet Tesla's unlikely partner, Mai Wee Chow, a scientist from the Great House Chow in California. But their stay becomes more complicated when an attempt is made on Tesla's life, and Caitlin's visions resurface in an unexpected way. Now the team find themselves caught in a web of intrigue and murder. I'm also happy to announce that we have a new artist on board by the name of Daniela Rivera, with coloring by Katie Brown and cover art by Angela Wu. We'll also be offering variant covers by Yishan Lee and Gwen Tavares. If you're new to the series, don't worry, as issues 1 and 2 of Mystery at Pikes Peak will be available, as well as our special editions of Volume 1 and 2 in both print and digital versions. We'll also have a brand new lapel pin depicting Samuel's compound bow, designed by Alejandro Lee, and special limited reward tiers, which include our audio drama, The Ghost Ship. The best part is both issues 3 and 4 are complete and ready to go to the printer. So please be sure to check out all the reward tiers and pledge today. Thank you in advance for your support.
All right, cool.
That was good.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, Madeleine. So what are we looking
at? We are finally, it took 2 years, but finally got the last 2 issues done. Mystery at Pikes Peak. Unfortunately, I had to let the original artist go, but Danny took over and did a marvelous job. So yeah, you're looking there at the covers for issue 3 and 4, the standard covers by Angela Wu. and there's just so much. But yeah, like it said in the video, the basic premise of the entire series is about an ex-Pinkerton detective, a spirit photographer, and a genius scientist who battle supernatural forces in late 1800s Boston. You can tell I've said that about 10,000 times. But yeah, this is some artwork from Elizabeth McKenza. And then you can scroll down and see where Danny picked up the reins. I kept Katie Brown on to do the coloring for consistency.
Cool.
And everyone's done a great job. It was great working with them. Unfortunately, early birds are over, so now we're to the standard rewards, where you can get both 3 and 4 digitally for $10. The new lapel pin. I always do a lapel pin when I'm doing a new Boston Metaphysical book that just become a thing now that people expect and people collect them. So I almost have to come up with a new one every single time. If you're missing 1 and 2, you can get for $20. You can get all 4 digitally. Or you can get all 4 in print for $50. There you see the lapel pin package for those who like pins. And we are offering the 2 variant covers in both standard and metal covers.
Cool. Now,
and here's the retailer special that I was talking about before.
Now, does issue 3 and 4 end the arc? Or is there more to the arc?
It does end the arc, but it leaves it quite open to move to the next one. It solves one mystery, but presents another conundrum.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Out of curiosity, do you have an overall arc that connects the whole thing as like one giant story, or are these just all smaller arcs that these characters work?
These are smaller arcs, yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, but each character grows and changes, and I mean, in my head, ultimately, there's going to be certain things that are going to be happening at some point. I'm not sure when. We'll see.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for a while, and then just starting a new series. It's very time consuming.
Yeah. So I mean, what part of it have you found? I would imagine the thing with changing artists was really stressful, but how did you come across the new artist?
I'm sorry. How did I come across the what?
Your new artist. How did you find?
My new artist.
Mm-hmm.
Danny, actually, I have a whole list of female artists. One thing I do with Boston Metaphysical are all the interior artists are women, and will continue to be that way.
Cool.
So I have a list, and she'd been on my radar for a while, and I noticed, but she wasn't quite where I needed her to be a couple of years ago when I first noticed her, but actually more than a couple of years ago. But then I had seen her more recent work before I hired her, and I thought she would she'd be able to capture Boston Metaphysical. There are terrific artists out there, but they can't necessarily capture what this universe is. And so it's really takes a lot of time. I go through a lot of portfolios to see if I can, imagine certain styles of an artist of whether they can capture this universe. The same thing with the covers.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair. Yeah. Takes me forever as well.
And then you have to deal with scheduling. Are they available?
Mm-hmm.
I had reached out to a couple of other folks, but they were too busy. And like I love working with Roberta in Granada, who did Doctor Who for Titan Comics, and she's still doing a ton of stuff. She was able to do a short for me for 1 volume a while ago, but otherwise she really only has time to do covers when I need her. But she does marvelous covers, so
Right.
I'll take it.
Yeah, sometimes it has to be that way. You just have to take them when you can get them. Right.
Yeah, but the big thing with them having to let one artist go and dealing with backers is that I wanted to have a new artist on board before I informed backers of what I was doing, because if there's a problem, I want to have a solution.
Right.
I don't just want to put an update and say, I have this problem and I haven't solved it yet. I want to say like, okay, unfortunately I had to do this, but we're moving on because I've solved the problem and here we are.
Gotcha. No, 110%. I mean, you just can't walk into a room and be like, I have this issue and I have an answer for it. So, yeah. Yeah, all right. Well, you got 411 backers. You more than blew past your goals, so you're doing great as usual. You got another 24 days, so very nice. So, yeah, awesome. So, everybody, Boston Metaphysical, great book, awesome book, awesome series. So, go check it out. Aaron. Hey, here we go. You want me to play this video?
Yeah, can do.
Right.
It's pretty short.
That was short and sweet.
Short and sweet.
Yep. All right. So, Aaron, what do we got?
So it started with Blood and Fire. You can actually download the first issue for free at the top of the campaign, which follows Nakaki, who is a very honorable samurai. He follows his master, who is the second brother in the line, and the eldest is basically dying. And at the start of the Blood and Fire, the eldest dies, leaving Nakaki's master as the ruler. Well, they're all betrayed. There's a lot of decapitating and sword fighting and death, and basically that's the premise of Blood and Fire, as Nakaki basically looks for his revenge. And Ice and Bone follows roughly 3 to 4 months after the events of Blood and Fire, which it was supposed to be a standalone three issue arc done, but I just couldn't let it lie, and it just kept coming back to it. And then I wrote Ice and Bone, so it's samurai action with a few supernatural horror elements to it, which the horror elements gets kind of upped in Ice and Bone. So I had to do a lot of more research into local mythology for Japan, and they're all the variant covers. So if you buy a variant cover, you get the digital download as well. So you get the cover, version cover, and a desktop wallpaper.
Oh, nice.
And I'm doing a free bundle, so every 10 backers unlocks another indie created comic.
Cool. What's up with the swords?
They are 6 inches roughly. They are. The title is etched into the sheath. So you got the Blood and Fire, and then now you got Ice and Bone. So they're little displays for katanas. They kick ass. I love them.
Are they supposed to be like letter openers?
You can if you want.
Okay.
They're blunt. They can be sharpened. I don't advise it, but it's up to you.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Your metal trading cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So, is this a second series, or is this just the next issue? This is the second
This
series.
is the second series. This is the third issue of the second series.
Right. And how many issues in this particular arc?
This one will be 4. So this is the prequel to the finale.
Gotcha.
I did try and do what Madeleine did of like launching 2 at the same time, and it didn't work out quite so well. So I came back and just launched number 3, and I don't know why 3 and 4 didn't work, but 3 is. So there you go. What can you do?
Yeah, I mean, stranger things have happened, right? I mean,
yeah, stranger things. So I mean, you can't. One of the tiers is that you actually can be in the book.
Mm-hmm.
One of the last tiers is for $150. You can be drawn as a bloodthirsty mercenary in issue 4.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, but you die. Horribly.
Do you get to choose the type of death? Stabbing?
You could, yeah.
Disembowelment? I don't know.
Decapitating, disembowelment. Oh, my motherfucker. Damn cat. Every time I do a freaking podcast, he's asshole. So you get to choose from a list of like 4 possible death scenarios.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Death by kitty?
That could be an option.
That could be an option.
The cat.
All right. Well, I mean, Aaron, the book looks great. I mean, you're well past your, your goal. You had 121 backers. You had another 5 days, so you're in good shape, man. Very nice.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Excited.
Another great title. Go pick it up. All right. Who is next? Kenny. Oh, we lost the man.
We lost Kevin.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know why this
camera lost Kevin.
decides to unfocus. There we go.
All right. There's Kevin. All right, Kenny. You want me to play this video?
Yeah, go ahead. It's pretty short.
All right. Cool. All right. So Kenny, what do we got? What's Blue Heart emoji?
So it's about the warrior prince of the Highlands, Trodach. It's like a future version of Scotland in a like fantasy adventure style world, where it's actually an island that's floating in the sky. That's why it's called the Highlands. So he goes out on a quest. His kingdom is under siege by an ancient evil that was sealed inside of the Highlands, way back in the day. And his king, his dad sends him out on a quest to go find the sword that they need to defeat the evil with. And he comes back and the place is it's gone. It's pretty much wasted. So then he's got to figure out what he's going to do next. Cause he failed. Right. So he's going to, go on a side quest basically. And it's going to, lead into a whole bunch of other stuff, but yeah.
Gotcha. So he went out to get the thing that would fix the thing, but he didn't make it back.
Right. Yeah. So you didn't make it back on time. Yeah.
Gotcha. Sounds like fun. I like it. So what inspired you to write the story? Like, to get into this, because it's different than your other title.
I love playing RPGs and like just like Legend of Zelda is like one of my favorite games. That kind of stuff. So it's always kind of just been this story's been kicking around for longer than Apex. Apex was an accident. This I was working on this when I was in college, and it's taken a lot of different forms over the years. And finally, I decided, well, I'm just going to do this one now too while I'm making comics. So finally, I started working on it, and yeah, it's just kind of story I wanted to write.
All right, cool. So, I mean, you're doing the illustration, you're doing the interior artwork.
Yep.
Cool. You do all the coloring and everything. Do you pen it ink first? Do you like do it digital, or is it all digital?
It's all digital. Yeah, I do. It's like I paint everything digitally in grayscale, and then I do gradient maps and just color touch up over the top of the grayscale. So
okay, because I mean, I have to be honest. It's funny because it looks like traditional, right? Like you started with to me, it looks like you started with traditional base, and then you added, but to do the whole thing digitally is pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, I keep it pretty loose. I'm not really like keeping myself held down by rigid line art or anything like that.
Right.
And just kind of I one thing I hate about the way I draw, well, just drawing in general, is that like when I draw something with pencils, it feels really good and organic and has a lot of energy. And then when I start going in over with inks in it, I feel like I just lose a lot of that energy and stuff. So I try to just stay kind of loose with everything on this one, just to kind of keep that, that energetic feeling in the art, All
right, cool. Now this is the first issue. How many issues do you see in the entire arc?
I have 3 written. I don't know how far I'm going to go with it. I do eventually want to make a video game, so that's like going to be a focus for me at some point. But right now, yeah, 3 issues is where I'm at right now, and I know how it ends. I don't know all the in betweens yet. So
okay, well that's
I like the green hue to it. It's quite nice.
Thank you.
It's quite cool.
Yeah.
Are you doing like different kind of color palettes for the different issues, or is it just going to be all like this?
I think it's going to stay this way for the most part. I don't know what I'm going to make it look like when I do a video game. I think I might do like regular colors and stuff, because there are colors assigned to each character. I just started drawing stuff in this color palette, and I just really liked it, so I just stuck with it.
Yeah. All right, cool. Very nice. Listen, Kenny, I'm a fan, so you're well on your way. You blew by your goals, so you got 40 hours to go. So everybody, go pick up this awesome book. Kenny's a great artist. Love it.
Thanks.
All right. Now, on to perhaps one of my favorite titles. Shameless plug. George, you messed up. Where's the video?
No video. I'll tell you about it. So the story, it's a buddy comedy between a boy and his imagination. Essentially, it's a coming of age story, and it explores the power of imagination itself and friendship. It's about this young man who moves to the States, doesn't speak English, doesn't fit in, he's skinny, awkward, all that fun stuff. And so to cope with that, he creates his imaginary friend named Bana, who is the shameless plug, who's going to teach him that sometimes to fit in, you just kind of have to try to be yourself. And so that's kind of like where the story takes off. They go on this adventure of trying to get his video game back that was taken from him. And, it's just a fun action. It's like, think of like In-N-Out meets E.T. And that vein. I was a big fan of that old school stuff. So that's what the story is. And and there's Joaquin. That's his name. He's about 9 years old when the story, as the story goes on. And that's just him in school and going through the hardships that kids go through at that age, I guess, trying to figure out, how to fit in and who their clique is and things like that. So, yeah.
All right, cool. Now, do you find that you're doing this because this is Do you find this as a self-insertion? Like, are these things that you yourself has been
Slightly,
or
yeah,
maybe
I mean,
it's something you've seen somebody went
no,
through?
no, it's I'm an immigrant kid. I came here when I was 7. So it's it's kind of semi autobiographical. I didn't have an imaginary friend, but I wish I had. It probably would have been made it a lot easier to kind of like go through try to fit in at that age. But yeah, so some of it is that I inserted some of myself into it, and I just had fun with the story. I mean, I came up with the title first, and then I tried to figure out how to come up with a story around the shameless plug, because I thought the title was funny, and so this little character came out of it. This little guy named Bana, who's just a plug.
It's really cute.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. And this is actually a print that my friend Sam Vera did for the campaign. He's got a campaign going at the same time. If you pledge to both, then you get this free print.
Nice. Did a really nice job.
Yeah.
I mean, he always does, but I mean, that one looks really cool. So I mean, obviously this was a one shot. Is there room for more stories in this universe? Is it something you're looking to continue?
Yeah, so the book, it's a graphic novel. It's 140 pages. The campaign itself is for the first chapter of the book. So once the campaign is done, I'm going right into the graphic novel. I'm not doing a chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. This is essentially, it's just to kickstart the 140-page story. So you are getting the full first chapter. It gives you kind of like it gets you right into who the characters are and that part of the story. And then from there, next year, I'm hoping to have the completed thing done. So the first 40 pages, which is the first chapter, are done. So essentially what I'm raising the funds are for like the printing and, because I sell, I pay the artist and these pages are completely done. So big shout out to Joseph Olesko, who's my artist. And I have a team of people who help, like we normally do, who help me do this. C. Michael Lanning, who, friend of the show, he helped me with some of the designs for the characters. I drew them, but then he cleaned them up so I could send them out to Joseph and he can get a better vision of what they look like. I had my editor, L.A. Cunningham, who helped out. Joe Holly, who's a friend of mine. He's the artist who kind of like helped me tweak the design of the Shameless Plug. And Victor Cloya, who did the colors. One of the covers is done, the alternate cover is done by an artist named Chris Mad. That's his work right there. He's him and Shauna Mad. They actually work together. He does the pencils and inks, and then she does the coloring. And they did a phenomenal job just with their own kind of like, flair of the character. So that's the alternate cover. One is a virgin and one is the one with the trade address. And then we're getting close to unlocking our second stretch goal, which is for the trading card that has that design on it. So very excited. I'm very happy with where it is right now. So.
All right, cool. Well, listen, again, you've blown by your goal, and you got another 17 days. So you're well on track, and yeah, man, I want that trading card. So make it happen.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Good job. All right, so I don't know. When I was writing these questions, I was in a weird state. So I don't know. Here's a strange one. Have you ever found yourself lost in comics work? And how did you write yourself? Or do you enjoy being lost? Right. So, I think I can only speak for myself. I've do the work that I do. And sometimes I feel like I'm set adrift in the world, right? I'm going through my day to day, but the only thing I'm really looking forward to is getting back to my comic work. But sometimes, you do feel a little adrift, right? Like you just don't know where you're at. And I've had periods like that. And I'm just wondering, have you guys ever went through anything like that? And how do you get out of that? Or if you even enjoy it, right? Because, sometimes it's better to live in that world, right? So, what are your thoughts? I think we're up to Kenny.
Kenny, you're muted.
My bad. So I think I kind of feel the same way you do about it. But I have a little bit of a different perspective lately. In the last couple of years, I've picked up a 9-to-5 job so I can get out of my office a little bit because I felt like I was kind of kind of living in here for a while. And it's been really good for me to go outside and, you know, walk around. I walk about 300 miles a month now at my job. So it's been pretty good for my health to be outside and be out in the sun and be out of my office for, you know, 5, 6, 7 hours a day. So it's kind of really given me a little bit of, it's kind of nice because I come home and I'm like, yeah, I actually want to work on this. Whereas before I was like sitting in here, like, I got to get this done. You know, it's though I do have less time to do it. The time I do spend on it now is more quality, I think, which has been a lot better for me, you know, mentally and physically as a creator, you know, so.
Cool. Kevin, what are your thoughts?
Well, it's probably a little easier because I'm just a writer. I've already written the story, okay, but I still have to manage this whole project, and so sometimes I find myself in a slump where, you know, it may take a couple weeks where I'm not doing much of anything. So I recently found myself in that place for a little while, and I just had to dig my way out of it to continue to work towards the next issue and things of that nature. So I do find myself in different phases of, you know, balls to the wall or not doing much or this and that, because I still have to manage the colorists, the artists and their schedules, because, you know, their schedules can change if they're working on other projects. You know, I had to juggle multiple colorists throughout this whole project, and also work with their schedules. So it's just, you know what I mean? It's about time management and just really trying to inspire other people at times. So it's not even just trying to make sure you're on the roller coaster. And it's all about setting those goals, you know what I mean? So that helps, setting those goals. And when's the next one coming out? Where are we at this and things of that nature. So all around, it's been a very successful endeavor. And I got some great people working with me, and I had to hone it down, and it's kind of, you know, slim it down to just about 2 colorists instead of trying to juggle more than that. But that's where I found myself, you know, over this whole project. I'm going to have like 6 colorist names on this graphic novel, because the one guy just wanted to work for the first issue, and then, you know, the other guy I found on Upwork, and he's kind of hit and miss. So,
yeah, sometimes it happens that way.
Definitely. I'm sure it's different if you guys are the artists of the story and things of that nature. But one gift that I always have is I'm never in like a writer's block type of thing. I can always find inspiration. I can always continue to write, and it's already written ahead by multiple issues. So,
all right, cool. Madeleine, what are your thoughts?
Right now, I can't wait to get back to actually writing, because between moving and all that entails, and settling in a new place, and even before that, I had to prep for launching this Kickstarter and finish fulfillment. We actually couldn't move until I finished fulfillment on Morgana, because the books were showing up in LA and not here where I am now.
Right.
So there was a lot of logistical stuff. So I'm trying to slowly get all that stuff off my plate so I can go back to writing, which I really want to do. So sometimes I get lost in the morass of all the stuff that has to be done. And then sometimes, you know, at some point I'm just going to have to say, screw it, and just ignore it and go write.
Yeah. Sometimes that's the choice. That's sure. Aaron, what are your thoughts?
I get lost all the time. To the point where recently we were in California for a visit, and we were on the shuttle train going to pick up a hired car, and I was like, when I kept my phone, taking a picture of a random building, and my wife was like, "What are you doing?" It's like, well, you see that building up there? If like zombies come screaming out through the glass, they'd fall onto this, and then this train would like career over that. It's like, what? It's like, I can't turn it off. So yeah, there's kind of 3 really interesting phases for me while I'm creating. Is like the initial like excitement of creating something new, doing the Kickstarter for it, and then getting the physical book. Those three things are like keeps me going, drives me, and yeah, everything else in between I just get lost so much. I have so many images on my phone, it's ridiculous. Because I put images into the scripts to kind of give the artist a little reference, and I'm constantly taking photographs, looking at on Pinterest and all that stuff, taking snapshots. So yeah, it's don't look at my search history either. Like if a bullet hits you at this place, how much damage does it do? Like, please don't look at my search history.
I'm pretty sure you're on an FBI list somewhere.
Probably. I've got a green card, so hopefully I'm okay.
There you go. Randy, what are your thoughts?
Time management's been a real pain for me this year, but writing these Atlanteans, these are 50-page novels, pretty much beginning, middle, and ends, really self-contained stories. You start out with a plot, and then what you end up with when you have the finished script done is so completely different from when you first started. It for me with these books, it's been really a challenge and pretty crazy. And like I said, I'm trying to match the genre with what Russ is doing, and to keep that quality up has really been the big challenge. But there's nothing like having, which has happened to me a couple of time slips, when you're sitting there starting to write and you're in there into the story and you're 10 pages done, and then you look at the clock and the day has gone by.
Yeah.
That's to me, that I love it, but I hate it at the same time. You get into that zone, and the characters definitely are taking you in. Sometimes I've had hooks come up in the middle of a script that I absolutely was not expecting, and the story just goes off in a completely different direction. And the next thing you know, the wife's yelling at you to come and get dinner.
Nice. George, what are you thinking?
Yeah, man, I find myself lost, like you say, a lot when I'm writing.
Yeah.
And do I like it? No, but but once you find your way out of it, though, it's such an empowering thing. Where you're like, I did it, and it feels good to get out of it.
Yeah.
I try to write a lot of notes. I do a lot of outlining to try to avoid getting lost, but I think it's inevitable sometimes, because your mind just keeps creating things over what you've already created. Oh my God, this sounds so much better. And even you do your lettering, JD. Like even when I'm lettering, I'm finding new lines that's adding to this thing. You know what I mean? As I'm on the final pass. So yeah, I do. I get lost. I embrace it though, because I know that, and I hope that it doesn't stop. I do find a way to get out of it, and once I get out of it, it's just that much better once I'm out.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the lettering is concerned, my biggest thing is I try not to read older work, because I'm a constant noodler. If I go read something old, I'll start fixing dialogue, and it doesn't matter how old it is. I'll go in there and I'll start jotting in notes and going back and saying, where are those PDF files or where are those PSD files? I go back and I start fixing stuff. So it's like, it's a little crazy. But yeah, I mean, like one of the clearest times that I went through this was back in the 90s. I was writing like La Blue Girl, Tenchi Muyu. I was doing all this pro work at the time, right? I was living off my work at the time, and I was working for these publishers. But what would happen is even though I was working on 3 books, I write fairly quickly. So I would turn in the scripts, and the limited series would be done, and I would be left around, and I would be like, well, I already got money coming in, so I don't need to get a job, but I'm just sitting here like a stump. And that's when I came up with Oswald, right? And it was initially in prose, right? Because I didn't have an artist. We didn't have I guess I didn't have DeviantArt at the time or something like that. And I was just like, okay, so I just started writing it in prose. And that really helped me refocus, as a writer, just helping really refocus and just, set me on that path. And then I started doing comics with them, and then forget about it. It's just been bonkers. So, George, you got another question?
Sir. So at the beginning of the show, we were talking about worth, talking about, that. And I mentioned the quality of the print of the books. I was wondering for you guys, what printers are you guys using for your comics at the moment?
I can start.
Okay.
For the bigger runs, I usually go through Print Lore, Samantha Amborn through Chicago, and usually get them out of Taiwan. They've been beautiful, absolutely beautiful, every single time. For my short runs, I have used Comics Wellspring in the past, and they've done a very good job. But Charlie Stickney told me about Color Vision, which I think is in Wisconsin, and they did my variants for Morgana, and they were beautiful. And they were also a bit cheaper than Comics Wellspring. And I use trade grade level covers and interior paper for my Kickstarter floppies.
What's their turnaround time, Madeleine, for the Color Vision printers?
The Color Vision was reasonably quick. I think it was less than a month.
Okay.
Because you have to go through the whole proofing and on, and it goes in production and shipping, between actual putting in the order and it arriving at my door. I think it was about a month.
Cool.
How soon was proofing?
Pretty quick. It was within a few days.
Yeah, because I do Wellsprings currently, and I mean I keep having to email them. It's like, have you sent proofs yet? Right, I sent them on Friday, and I still haven't. Last Friday, it's been over a week, and I still haven't received the proofs.
Well, you're talking about physical proofs. I mean, I get the electronic proofs within a couple of days.
Email. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm looking at. I'm thinking I'm looking elsewhere as well.
Yeah, Color Vision did a really nice job, and I think Charlie is using them for his short runs. Their unit price is comparable to what I'm paying overseas, but the difference is the overseas price includes shipping, and Wisconsin, they're going to add on shipping. So
that's the shipping
where
is
really,
insane.
That's
it's
the
shipping.
cost. Yeah.
All right, cool. Kenny. Oh, Kevin, you're all right there?
I was going to volunteer to go next because I have used Comic Wellsprings. I wasn't extremely impressed. I mean, it was a fair product, but I found that the books were bowed when I got them, kind of bowed out, unlike some of the other books where they're more flat. And also, one time I got an order and I had kinks inside of them, and I had to send it back. Half of my order had kinks in it, in the neck, whatever it's called.
Oh wow!
The spine.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty dramatic. So I had to have the order sent back. Now it's a good company and everything, but I've worked with 3 different printers mainly. I started off with Print Ninja, and that was like 2 years ago. They were all mainly out of China. It was okay. I wouldn't recommend them. They actually, and it took months to get my order. It took months because they're out of China. But because of it, it was a lot cheaper. But then they most recently moved some of their production out here to the United States so you can get them a little faster. However, I found that the quality is just standard, just like Comic Wellspring. I'm really impressed with the one I'm using now is Mixam, because I can get them 2 weeks. I got my book sitting out the door, like fast as hell. And so the quality is amazing. They're very friendly with anything that's going to happen with your order. They'll do refunds or whatever in this, send out other books, whatever. So they're real easy to work with, and it's all electronic. You just submit it online. You don't have to mess around with prints too that like instantly. You can generate a print, like a proof and a preview and everything. So I'm just really pleased, and they maintain the colors extremely well, especially in the interior. So I noticed some of the books on the other printers, the colors would maintain like this, like the Ninja, and so I would recommend Mixam all the way.
And do they do small runs, or is it just large ones?
What's that?
Do they do small runs as well? Because I'm doing like
50... they do small runs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll check them out. Thank you.
Is that MAXIM?
Yeah, it's Mixam.
MIXAM.
But even with out of Canada, they're fast. They're fast.
Yeah.
I'm saying under 2 weeks, I'll get my whole order. Hundreds of books.
Yeah, they're actually a British company. And what they do is they have a network of printers across, the U.S., Great Britain, Canada, and they just network out. It just seems like everybody all has the same equipment, like they all have the same setups, so you get very uniform quality. Because I use them for my trades, and I swear by them. So
we use them for all of our European sales. Anything that's it just postage is so much anymore.
Yeah,
you just have everything in Europe printed in Europe, everything here in the U.S. printed in the U.S.
Yeah. All right, Kenny, who you use?
I've used for my floppies, I go through a local printer here. It's kind of funny. I found him. He did some prints for me a while back. It's a pre-sort company. So the companies that they go out and they send mailers out to like people, like political mailers, that garbage you get in the mailbox all the time. It's like this big and it's like folded up in your mailbox and crunched in there every which way. They make that stuff. And I just went in there and talked to the guy when I first started out, and I was like, "Hey, can you do this? Like, can you make these books?" And he's like, "Yeah, I actually got a machine for it." So all of my floppies have been made locally here, which is great because I can go, we can test new paper. If I need a proof, I can just call him up in the morning, say, "Hey, can you print this out?" I'll send him over the files. He'll print out a proof. I go over there in the afternoon. He's got it ready for me. It's super nice. And then, I get to help him out. He's kind of become a friend over the years, and, it helps him keep a job and feed his family and stuff like that. So
there you go.
I'm not sending it to some guy in China or some dude in Florida or like wherever, so that's helpful. And then with my my trades, I've used Comics Wellspring, but like he was saying before, the quality's kind of gone down a little bit, I think, with Comics Wellspring. I haven't ordered out with them right now. It's kind of been a pain in the ass because they deleted my files after a certain amount of time. I guess it's a year. I hadn't ordered in a while. And then I sent the same exact files that I used before, and they're like, "Well, these don't work." I'm like, what do you mean they don't work? It's the same exact thing. So I'm in the process of getting them fixed so they can use them. I don't know what they want, but Mixam has been really good though. I use those guys for my hardcovers, and I think you have one, right, JD? The hardcover for Apex.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And those are really good. And their customer service was great. Like they helped me out with I couldn't figure out how to do the dust cover on it because like the dimensions were kind of weird. And they actually just did like a live support thing like on the computer. So I was like watching them adjust it like in real time in the program. So I was like, that's really cool. So yeah, I'm probably gonna switch over to them for trades after I get this next run from Comics Wellspring because it's just been kind of a pain in the ass with them. So
yeah, and the thing is Daphne and I, we've been using it for the last 4 years, and we can order the first trade from the original files. So like they hold on to all of your files. So you can always
that's really good. Yeah, because I think I had ordered so many books in one run, and I just didn't need any for like a year. And then I went back to order, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't have your files anymore." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I'll just resend." I reset them the same one. And they're like, "These don't work." Weird.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
Here's another thing, JD, I noticed about Mixam. I was on there. They have something called Print Link now that you can store your book and just have people order it directly from the site without having a lot of inventory and send it out. I think Comic Wellspring is doing the same thing, but this looks pretty promising. I might try that out. But also the price is very good too. The pricing on the books is fair.
True. Randy, who you guys using?
We run with Critical Blast. I'm not sure who they're printing with, other than I know we're using Mix'em over in Europe, but whoever we're using over here, it does excellent work. And the reason we run with Critical Blast is they're able to do a number of different formats for us. Like we got the Shadow Kingdom here done in hardback. It's just really pretty, and just love that. We our normal size is the European A4 size. It's kind of a magazine size, fits into a magazine bag, square bound, because Russ really likes the look of the old Savage Sword of Conan's, so he wants to be as close to that as possible. So we go in black and white on that. But the way that Critical Blast works, they offer a number of different formats, and they put us on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and any place that has the Ingram book ordering service. They're listed in there, and then we get a little statement every month or every quarter, and with a little royalty check attached to it. It's pretty nice.
Cool. Just to let he uses a company called Lightning Source.
Does he? Okay.
Yeah. That's the company he uses. But it's a good company. I've used them before.
I've absolutely no complaints, and I'm a real stickler when it comes to printing. So I've had comics printed the last 40 years. These guys are doing great work. So
I use Mix'em for my trades. For my floppies or saddle stitched books, I use a guy from upstate New York. His name is Aaron Kane. I forgot the name of his company, but you can find him on Facebook. He's Aaron Kane. So, and then this is one of the last thing he did for me, and came out really nice. But but he does really good work, and I get stuff back within a week, sometimes 2 weeks, sometimes a week. What's funny is I placed an order, I don't know, for about 10 days ago. I came home yesterday and it was sitting on my doorstep. And I was just like, oh, I wasn't expecting this. And what's funny is because he usually bills me before he ships it. He hasn't billed me yet, so I got to write him. I said, dude, you got to bill me. So, yeah. Really cool dude.
Free comics.
You cannot do that to your partners. I have more work to send him. But he's a really good dude, though. He's a really good dude. But yeah, his name is Aaron Kane. You can always reach out to him on Facebook. He's a nice guy. And mix them, like I said, for the trades. So those are the two I'm using. So George, who are you using?
I've used a bunch of. I've used Kablam. I've used Comics Wellspring. I've used Morris Publishing. I've used Mix'em. And I'm actually using them currently for like the books that are going to like stores and stuff like that. And they do, like to your guys' point, they do really do a good job. My question, I guess, for you guys, for Mix'em is, when you guys are ordering your books, are they like shrink wrapping them, or is that like something that you got to pay extra for? Because when I ordered mine, they didn't come bundled. Like they just came kind of like with like a little strap, and that was it. Like they didn't really come, because I guess I didn't click the button to shrink wrap. I don't know. Is that something separate that you got to pay for?
When I get my trades, they're shrunk wrap, but it's like as packages, not as individuals.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I mean. I didn't get that on my single, like my single issues. They just came kind of loose, and I was like, did I forget to click something? Did I have to pay extra for this?
I would imagine if you clicked that button, they would have shrunk wrapped each individual.
That's what I'm thinking too, and I don't want to.
Yeah. Look at, like, if they charge you a quarter per, that would have probably been.
No, they do. No, they charge. They charge a lot more for that. So I was wondering if you guys how you saw them when they printed them single issues.
No, they just wrapped the bundle.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe I forgot.
I had a weird experience where recently I got them unwrapped. And I didn't ask for individual. In the past, just a few months ago when I made an order, they were wrapped in segments, like 25 books each or something, in plastic. So I don't know why they did that. They didn't do that this time around. Maybe they're trying to reduce costs. I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Yeah, I may have to email them and find out.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong with them, even without not being in the plastic wrapper, because they were still bundled and they were in the box and everything.
Yeah, nothing was damaged. My only fear is that if let's say, for example, that box had been left outside, it rained or something. You know what I mean? I mean, not that trainer would have protected them, but at least it would have added some kind of protection to them. But yeah, no, I'll have to find out.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Randy, do you have a softball?
I really don't.
Softball, right? All right. Here, I'll ask one.
None of my balls are very soft. Thank you very much.
You know what I mean.
I do.
All right, here's one. I've asked this question before, but this is I think a pretty decent one. What is your nemesis as a creator in comics? Right. Yeah, I'm lost now. I think Aaron is next.
My nemesis is probably page count, because you have to hit that 4. And even though I have the title, the page numbers on the left side of my document, I miscalculate. I'm like, yeah, I hit the 28. And I went, oh my God, there's 3 17s. There's like 2 19s. I'm like, son of a... And then I have to go out and edit the whole thing. So page numbers is my pain in the ass.
All right. Fair enough. Madeleine, what's your nemesis?
It's page numbers as well, but kind of differently, because all of my comics the actual story can be anywhere from 28 to 32 or whatever, but then going in and making sure that the page turn is correct, splash pages are correct, and then maybe having to move, because I usually have bonus material, and if it's the first issue, it'll have an introduction. All issues have prologues, so making that all work. And in fact, I had to do that with issue 4 of Pike's Peak, because the last 2 pages are a double page spread, and obviously you want that to work out right. And so I had to move where the prologue usually is, but then we had 2 extra pages, which I hadn't expected to do bonus. Okay, now I have to do bonus material. So yeah, I literally have to sit down and count each one with a physical copy and figure out, am I screwing this up or not?
Gotcha. All right. That's cool. Kevin, what are your thoughts?
Probably editing and colorists. Okay. Because if you have multiple colorists, you have to match your styles, and I have to have one guy edit the other guys if he's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just editing, and then I'm trying to do all this as a graphic novel, which that project will start soon, and put it all together, and then more editing of the colors, basically make sure they're all in sync. Because in the one guy, I do different variations of hair color on one character, and then things of that nature. So just editing.
All right, cool. Kenny, what are your thoughts?
Time management. I'm fairly awful at time management, and being a writer and an artist at the same time. I got to kind of strike a balance between doing one thing or the other. A lot of times that for me, I like to go all in on something, and which means if I'm going to write something, that's all I'm doing this week. I'm not doing any drawing, no art or anything like that. And that means sometimes I get out of the mode to do the other thing, or sometimes I start writing and then I'm like, well, I want to draw now, but I can't because I set aside this time to do that. I'm all over the place with it.
All right, cool. Randy.
I agree with Kenny. My biggest nemesis is time management.
Yeah.
Making yourself sit there in front of the computer and work. When it gets to be work, it gets to be a little rough to do. And I watch way too much YouTube. So.
Fair enough. George, what are your thoughts?
I think all of the above, everything that everybody's mentioned, but I'll add this. I think that for those of us who are writers in the group, I think some of my biggest nemesis too is not having enough money to be able to put all these projects into production at the same time, so that they're all ready to rock and roll, because I just want to get them all out. So I think that's a big nemesis. Obviously, it's just not having the financial backing to get all of this stuff done at the time, along with everything that everybody else mentioned, because I think we're all on the same boat when it comes to this stuff.
True. All right, cool. My nemesis is, all right, I letter my books and I like lettering. I hate word balloons. I hate them. I hate them with a passion. But I do them. They just it takes me just as long to place down the damn word balloon, sometimes longer than it does to actually letter the damn book. So yeah. That's why if AI could ever do one thing for me, it would be word balloons. That's all I need it for. Just put in the word balloons.
Now, are you talking about the like creating the circles or placing them on the page? Which
No. Placement I don't have an issue with, because I just put in the text and I make, the stack and I do all that stuff, and then I put it in place, and then I insert the word balloons. And that's the part. It's inserting the word balloons, putting the little tail and doing all that stuff. It drives me nuts. You gotta pull, push, and this, that, and everything, and then you gotta try to get it perfect so it lines up with the thing, and it's just like it's just but it's part of the fun. You have to try to embrace those things you hate. Yeah. So hold on. What is this? What's up, Mike? There you go. All right. So thank you, everyone. This was awesome. I mean, we made it to hour 2. So, like I said, thank you. All of you are awesome. And let's start with Kevin. Where can we find you and your work, sir?
crookedcomics.com is my website. Also, same on Instagram, COMIX. Kickstarter last 24 hours. You'll find me there. Facebook. I also do random comic shows across Ohio. Where are the rest of you guys located at?
Well,
I mean, I know you're in New York, but
I'm in New York. George is in New York.
I'm in the middle of Michigan.
Michigan, okay.
I'm in Northern California.
Kentucky, middle of nowhere.
What?
I'm in Oregon now.
Okay.
I moved from LA to Oregon.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're all around. So I'll do a show next month called the Buckeye Comic Con in Columbus. So I'll be there next.
Cool.
All right, cool. Kenny, where can we find you and your work, sir?
So I'm Kenny Aitken on every platform there is. TikTok, I'm on Moonfire Lab. That's about it. Facebook, Twitter, or whatever it's called now, X, Instagram. Instagram's like my main one I use the most. That's about it. Yeah, I got my website, moonfirelab.com. I'm going to redo the whole thing here probably in the next few months. So, I mean, it's not real great right now, but yeah, that's there too.
All right, cool. Aaron?
You can find me on Instagram at Wroblewski Aaron. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but there you go. If you can't spell my name. You can find, Kickstarter, Ice and Bone is currently live. I do have series Facebook for groups for all my series. So Ice and Blown, Anenra, and Amorpatris all have groups. So you can find me on there. Thank you.
All right, cool. Madeleine?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, Blue Sky, and of course, the website it's actually queenofmercia.com, but if you would put in Boston Metaphysical Society, it'll take you right there. Queen of Mercia is my overall company name. And of course, we're on Kickstarter right now for the next 24 days. Just put in Boston Metaphysical and it should pop right up.
Cool. Randy?
And if you want to talk to me directly, you can find me on Facebook. Other than that, all of our campaigns are at fundmycomic.com. Fund My Comic. We don't have a campaign running at the moment, but we will here within the next couple of months, probably right before the end of the year. We'll be doing Atlantean 4. I also do 2 podcasts every week, one Friday morning at 5 a.m. Eastern on the Indie Comics Network and a few other places, YouTube and Facebook, called Comics by Night, where we take a look at some great old sequential art, usually old sequential art. And then on Sunday mornings, I do a program called the Sunday Funnies, where we look at sequential art and comics, and sometimes some of the more oddball kind of fringe things in the genre, like sports cards and coloring books and that kind of thing. That's the Sunday Funnies at 9 a.m. Eastern over on the Indie Comics Network. They're 2 real fun programs. I'm in it with Russ Leach and Glenn Fleming from England, which is why we have such unusual times, because everything over there is like 5-6 hours ahead of our time. But we really have some great fun discussions. Right now, with it being October, we're looking at monsters and horror comics. Like on Sunday, we're looking through the Haunt of Fear collection, great old EC horror comics that helped inspire the Comic Code Authority. And then on Friday morning, we are looking through Marvel's monster bus of all these insane giant monsters like Groot and Tubor and Zazax and all of those great old giant monsters that helped start the Marvel Age of Comics. So that's the kind of thing that we look at on those programs. So come over and join us when you get a chance.
All right, cool. George?
You can find me on my website, getyourmeds.com. My last name is Medina. It's a play on my last name, Your Meds. I want my comics to be your meds. Get hooked. So check that out. You can also find me on Instagram. Most of the time that's where I'm at, or Facebook. I also do a podcast on Tuesday nights. Madeleine, I think you're coming on Catch the Craze.
Yes.
Tuesday night. Yes.
Tuesday night.
We'll be talking to you. Yeah, well, we interview independent creators like this. So definitely follow me. I'll send you guys, everybody's here, I'll send you guys a link if you guys want to ever be on it or whatever. We talk about your stuff. So I'm on there. And obviously I have the Kickstarter, the shameless plug. So check that out. We are about to unlock the second stretch goal, and I'm doing backer goals. So every 10 backers, I'm a big, the gambling thing, spinning the wheel. So I'm a big wheel spinner. So every 10 backers, we're spinning a wheel, and the gift is it's a golden ticket. Literally, it's like a little golden thing that I'm going to send you guys in your package if you guys win it. And at any convention that I'm at next year, when the book is complete, I'm going to hand you a copy of the graphic novel if you guys win it. So make sure you pledge so you can get a chance to win that. So
just print off random gold tickets to hand to you at cons. Is that the right idea?
No, Aaron, that's not what we're doing here.
Play the system.
He's gonna think about that. It just came out of his mouth.
I know. Aaron's gonna tap me on my shoulder one day and be like, "Here you go. That's my book."
All right. So you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, theoswaldchronicles.com, most importantly, talltalesonline.com, and also on dreamweaverpress.com. So, and very soon back on Kickstarter with another Oswald. So that's going to happen probably on Friday. So thank you everyone for showing up. And one last thing, please check out the show notes. In the show notes are links to everybody's campaigns. Please click on those links. These creators are all fantastic. All of them are doing great books. All of them doing great work. All of them worth your time and money. So please go click on those links, buy these books, support these creators. Thank you so much, everybody. Read more indie comics, especially ours. Have a good night.
Take care,
Thank
everyone.
you.